It's the same day, unspecified time in the Gateway Water Hotel lobby. The Gateway Water Hotel is looking resplendent as usual. I'd venture a guess it'll be looking resplendent again tomorrow as well. Whoa, let me close this for a second. Okay.
The herb tea I make is more fragrant than what they serve at their cafe, though.
Oh, it's you all. What are you doing here?
Father! Oh, so you must be Suchara-chan's papa!
Oh my. And who might this charming young lady be? Oh, so you're the author of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, my name is Iris Watson. Suchara-chan is always so nice to me.
Oh, Miss Watson, is it? I'm a big fan of your work. Oh!
Iris-sama lives with Holmes-sama.
Is that so? No wonder you look so clever.
Oh no! What is this scene? It's cute!
If he knew just how clever she was, he might not smile quite as brightly. Ah, right. I saw your trial today, Naruhodō-kun. I was able to demand entrance to the gallery as a guest invited to the symposium. It was quite remarkable. I was truly impressed from the bottom of my heart.
Really?
Thank you very much. I bet it'll end up that he's talking about Asogi too. Oh no! The one I was so impressed with was you, Attorney Naruhodō. Eh? In spite of the fact that your opponent was Asogi-kun, you didn't falter and faced him head-on. I'm stunned that you managed to become such an outstanding defense attorney in just 1 year. Oh, good feelings all around! Good feelings all around! Thank you very much. I can't help being happy to hear him say that. Good feelings all around! As I watched today's trial, my hopes became certain. Pertaintus? I mentioned this yesterday as well, but I have a request I'd like to make of you. Oh, come to think of it, you did mention that yesterday, didn't you?
In any case, we also have something we'd like to report.
Thanks, Mikatoba! Thanks for your blessing. Alright, in that case, why didn't we have a chat over some tea? Come to think of it, I don't see Judge Jigoku anywhere around here. The Grim Reaper.
Are you aware of the entity known as the Grim Reaper of Old Bailey, Father?
Yes, but only rumors. I heard about him from a member of the justice system yesterday. The Grim Reaper didn't exist while I was studying here in London. That was because Professor Mikatoba and Judge Jigoku returned to Japan right after the conclusion of that case. Lord Baroque Van Zeeks. I saw him in the defendant's seat today. Apparently he was the younger brother of Lord Clint Van Zeeks.
Yes, it's true that he's the one they call the Grim Reaper. However, the one actually responsible is someone else, it seems.
That's fascinating. Does that mean that the Grim Reaper is something of an assassin?
Exactly. We heard that that person's name is Anne Sasha.
What? Did you say Anne Sasha? You mean Giselle Bullitt, the one who murdered my friend?
What? Papa Mikatoba's friend?
I'm not sure whether we ought to discuss that now, Professor Mikatoba. Professor John H. Watson. Professor Mikotoba invited him to Japan, and he was murdered. I don't feel like we ought to mention that in front of Iris-chan. And yet it gives it to us. Professor Watson's death. Okay.
Oh, I suddenly remembered. I heard that the cookies at this hotel are outstanding.
That is indeed very sudden. Usada-san just gave me a signal.
I'm gonna buy some cookies at the gift shop. Perhaps you wouldn't mind helping me pick some out, Iris-sama? Sure. Leave it to me. Let's go, Susato-chan.
Come to think of it, that girl. You said her name was Iris Watson, didn't she? Yes, that's right. You also mentioned that she was the author of the Tales of the Great Detective, Mr. Holmes. But the name of the author written in those novels is Dr. John H. Watson, as far as I can recall. Yes, apparently, that was Iris-chan's father's name. Her father? Dr. John H. Watson. He's a forensic pathologist who was a great help to me while I was studying abroad in London. I invited him to our nation's Yume Imperial University 4 years ago to act as a medical professor. And then he ended up being murdered last year by Zuzelle Bullet. She was the Grim Reaper's errand girl. Why did she come all the way to the great Japanese Empire? Iris-chan doesn't know about the murder in Japan. The late Professor Watson was her father, wasn't he? I hadn't heard anything about Professor Watson having a daughter, but at the very least, I do know that he was not the great detective's partner. Oh! So, does that mean that it was a different Professor Watson? John and H and Watson are all exceedingly common names, you see. In any case, I believe we should keep it quiet in front of that girl. Right.
We're back! Here, have a cinnamon biscuit.
Oh, thanks, Iris-chan.
I think the cinnamon would go well with this tea. Don't you, Susato-chan? Yes. Yes, I'm sure it will.
Poor Meowsy. Judge Yagoku. Come to think of it, I don't see Judge Yagoku around. Guilty! I still have the word guilty and his booming voice ringing in my ears. Now that you mention it, I haven't seen him since this morning. But the symposium has been delayed now. He's likely gone to do some sightseeing at the World's Fair.
Come to think of it, you mentioned yesterday that Yagoku-sama had been a defendant once before.
Ah, you mean in that top-secret trial? Asogi's father's trial, huh? Yagoku made a forceful case up on the witness stand, trying to lighten Asogi Genshin's punishment. He was so worked up at the time that he, ended up breaking the witness stand. Oh!
Oh my!
Additionally, because he used the words that brought humiliation on the Great British Empire, he ended up being prosecuted. Huh. I guess in a sense he looks like someone who might do something like that. Well, he somehow managed to be declared not guilty and was able to return home safely with me.
I'm very relieved to hear that.
Oh, right. I finished developing the memorial photo we took yesterday. Here you are. So serious, Naruhodō!
Oh my, what a wonderful photo!
It certainly gives the impression of a trip to England, doesn't it? A memorial photo. Taken in the lobby of the Gateway Water Hotel on the day Professor Mikitoba and Judge Jugoku arrived in London. I never imagined when we took this photo that something like this would happen.
Yes, nor did I.
Professor Mikitoba's request. So, what was the request you wanted to make of me? You fought so well in the Supreme Court. I'm certain the verdict you seek will be handed down ultimately. In which case, I'd like you to return with me to the great Japanese Empire. What?
What? This is so sudden. Why would you ask such a thing?
Oh, I was like, what the heck? Susato, I should think as someone who stood in our Supreme Court should be able to understand. Our nation's legal system is still underdeveloped, particularly our defense attorneys.
Our defense attorneys?
What the Supreme Court of our nation needs is a real defense attorney. And as soon as possible. No, immediately, even.
But I've only been in London for a year.
I've read Susato's reports. I know how truly skilled you are. After seeing you in today's trial, I can understand it clearly. Our nation's court needs you now.
No! You're leaving, Naruhodō-kun? But then, what shall I do?
You originally came to this country as Asogi-kun's legal aid. That's right, Asogi. The Japanese government is currently trying to decide what to do about Asogi-kun now. You've always decided your own path. I believe in you, and ask you to do the same this time as well.
But...
well, now this just got sad. Come now, you two. There's no need to look like that. This is only a request from me. I don't intend to force you. Will you at least think it over before the end of this trial? I understand.
Naruhodō-kun, you're not going to go home to Japan, are you?
I hadn't really thought about it. This whole time, I've been defending in court here in London after accepting Asogi's mission onto myself. But Asogi survived. In which case, what am I supposed to do? Ooh. Ooh, that was heavy. That whole subject was heavy as heck. Now then, I need to be going. I need to report this information about Anne Sasha to the Japanese government and the police.
Please do.
I look forward to next month's issue, Miss Watson.
Sure! I hope you come visit us at Baker Street as well. We'll welcome you with all my might. Oh!
Yes, I look forward to it. Now then, Naruhodō-kun, do your best out there tomorrow. And please, give some thought to my request. Yes, I will. Going to Japan, huh?
Kazuma-sama was my father's prided pupil. I'm sure he wants to gain an audience with him so that they can have a proper conversation.
That very well may be. And Sasha. Yes, of course. That's obviously the case. What's wrong with me? I should have considered that possibility. What? Home-san.
Homesy! Where were you?
What are you talking about? I've been drinking tea with all of you this whole time.
But I didn't notice you at all.
That's not important now. What matters is this, Mr. Naruhodō. Yes? We must send an international telegram to your country with the greatest of haste. To Japan? Introduce me to someone trustworthy, quickly.
Oh, in that case... My father just said that he was going to send a telegram to the Imperial Police.
I see. That woolly face of his does indeed deserve the utmost trust.
I believe there's room to debate whether his face can be considered woolly or not.
Have that respectable daddy of yours send this VA international telegram with the greatest of haste.
Very well, but what is it?
Don't ask me anything about it just now, Miss Usato. All I can do right now is pray. Pray that for once, my deduction will be incorrect. I can't help feeling like that makes it sound as though your deductions are usually correct. Regardless, I may not look it, but I'm quite busy, folks. I don't have time to be crouched down behind your chairs eavesdropping like this. So he was eavesdropping? Take care of this for me, folks!
Wait, Home-san! He ran for it, almost like he was trying to escape something.
Home-san left the bill for his tea. He left the bill for his tea! Oh, why?
Now then, I'll catch it to my father before he makes it to the International Telegram Office. Alright then, I'll go call a carriage.
I've been stuck with the bill for Home-san's tea. What just happened? Nani? Why? Why? God damn it. Oh, great. Okay, calm down. We have two very serious people coming up here. I need to calm down. Same day, unspecified time. High Court of Justice. Chief Magistrate... You guys stop. Chief Magistrate's office. I won't accept any objections, Prosecutor Sogi. You're to move the trial along as I've instructed you. Understood? What? Excuse me? Certainly.
It's Kazuma-sama.
Wait, why are you here? Weren't you gonna go to the telegrams? Talking back to Lord Vortex. Talking about reckless. You may stand down now, Prosecutor Sogi. Sir. Asogi. He left. Okay. Okay. Just, just do that. Keep doing that with your partner. No big deal. Well, folks, what brings you here? Nothing. We just wanted to have a word with you. No, it's not! Van Ziek's trial was supposed to have concluded today. Thanks to Prosecutor Sogi's unnecessary questions, the verdict has been delayed. Yeah, well, you know what? Duck you! Unnecessary questions? Thanks to that, my valuable time is being stolen away. 2 hours, 55 minutes, and 41 seconds. 42 seconds. 43 seconds.
I think we ought to wrap this up before it reaches 3 hours.
That gives us less than 5 minutes, doesn't it? Let's just try to ignore the mood Lord Vortex is in. And see what he has to say. You guys! An angel! The Grim Reaper! God damn it. Does Asogi believe that Lord Van Zieks is the Grim Reaper? Who can say? I wouldn't know. Van Zieks made a name for himself in the legal world with the top secret trial 10 years ago. However, in Van Ziek's next trial, he lost. The boss of a criminal organization was acquitted. All the jurors had been threatened.
Did that really happen?
Well, that man was only able to keep himself alive for 3 days after that.
I believe he lost his life in a landslide at a construction site.
That was when the Grim Reaper of Old Bailey made his first appearance.
Did people suspect Prosecutor Van Zieks?
He stood trial for it at the time, and it was declared an accident.
So he must have had an alibi. A solid alibi.
However, the inexplicable deaths continued. Following that, there was a total of 16 people who can be considered the Grim Reaper's victims, having met unnatural deaths. No, they didn't say a name. This cannot be written off as mere coincidence.
Perhaps the identity of that Grim Reaper will be revealed during the course of this trial.
We can't possibly predict the impact that truth will have on the citizens of the Great British Empire.
And that's why the trial is top secret?
It is indeed.
Top secret trial.
An unpublicized top secret trial. It's been 10 years since the last one.
10 years ago, that would be the trial of the professor, Asogi Genshin, correct?
Indeed it is.
Come to think of it, in the professor's trial 10 years ago, you were originally supposed to be the prosecutor in charge, weren't you?
Van Zieks desperately wanted to stand behind the prosecutor's bench, in that case in order to avenge his brother. Now, 10 years later, the son of the man he prosecuted is at the prosecutor's bench in order to avenge his father. What cruel irony.
I guess this means what goes around comes around.
However, it would seem that young prosecutor has some other prediction.
You mean Asogi?
I prefer it when my organizations act completely accurately in the way I envision them. Just like the mechanical clock in this room. Flawlessly. Down to the very second.
So, I was right about the significance of the giant clock in this room.
It seems that young prosecutor wishes to deny that he's a part in my clock. In which case, I have to take some measures of my own.
Well, what are you planning to do?
That's not for you to know. Either way, you'll find out tomorrow.
What?
No, it does not sound suspicious at all. Not a bit. Now then, I really must be going. I've just become 3 hours late for my meeting.
That's quite an amount to just become.
It's entirely your fault. We've only been talking to him for 5 minutes. If possible, would you permit me to speak with Prosecutor Asogi? Typically, I prefer it if the prosecutor and defense for an ongoing case don't speak outside of court, but I will grant permission for an interview between you. You should find Asogi in his office.
Thank you very much.
I'm pretty sure his office is actually Baroque's office, but, you know.
Kazuma-sama's office. Let's go.
Asogi. He's my best friend, and yet, for some reason, I'm worried about how well a conversation between us will go. Yeah. Okay. No problem. No big deal. Let's go see your friend. As soon as I figure out where I'm... Is that it? I think I'm wrong. This right or wrong? I don't know. Is it the bottom one? Okay, I guess it is. Same day, unspecified time, the prosecutor's office. So this is Prosecutor Sogi's office, huh? Pretty sure this is still Van Zeke's room, but okay.
Kazuma-sama. They've really given him a luxurious office, haven't they?
He's being made to sit Setsa style in a little corner of Lord Van Zeke's office.
Kazuma-sama always sits Setsa style when he's working.
How do you do it, Asogi? That position is painful. I've done it. It's not fun. Asogi. Hey, buddy, what's up? I figured you'd be stopping by sooner or later. Naruhodō. Looks like it's just like I said. Huh? You were always meant to be a defense attorney. I believe too, you know, that you'd stand in British court someday. But I never dreamed that it would be behind the prosecutor's bench. Believe me, I don't think any of us saw that coming at all. At least until stuff came up later on.
Your dream came true. Seeing your gallant figure in this foreign Supreme Court is so moving. I'm so happy for you.
Oh! I'd like to thank you from the depths of my heart, Legal Aid Mikotoba. Oh! Oh, you guys! All three of them are adorable! Naruhodō. I had a feeling that... What is this? Wait. Hold on. This sentence is weird. Also, I have interruptions in the background. Please wait warmly. Of course the interruptions happen when I get to the best parts. Hold on, I'll be right back. Can I keep reading without being interrupted? Find out in the next 30 minutes, I guess. Okay, how do I read this properly? I had a feeling that causing a stir with you in the English courts would be thrilling. Though, it ended up happening a little differently than I anticipated. Maybe this is another one of fate's little pranks. I've learned a lot since coming to England. England? Oh my goodness. About this city where Susato-san's father and the others once visited. And about your father's case, which occurred here. In that case, you must understand why I had to become an exchange student in this country at any cost. I'm here to hear what you have to say, Asogi. That's just what I was hoping, Naruhodō Ryūnosuke. Please, these two! What the? I can't. This is too much. OTP. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because of the way the Japanese, when they write, it's... The way the Japanese language is written is just... It's really hard for me to even describe it. It's kind of poetic, in a sense. So it kind of comes off romanticized a little bit when translated, I guess? And I don't know if Wright and Edgeworth was written the way Asogi and Naruhodō are written in this game, because Jesus Christ, these two. Well, he says Aibo and he also says Kisama. He calls him his Kisama, which is not the derogative version of Kisama. It's actually the buddy version of it. And I'm just like, excuse me? Your disappearance last year. It's already been a year since that incident on the RFS Alacre. Oh no, let's have this flashback again. In a first-class cabin of a steamship headed from Japan to the Great British Empire. A series of unfortunate coincidences came together and caused that tragedy. I truly thought at that time that I lost my best friend. When I awoke from my sleep, I was lying in a bed. It was a narrow room, and my pillow had been decorated with a wreath of flowers. It took me a little while to realize that that was a ship cabin. I snuck quietly out of that room and headed for the deck. Had you already lost your memories at that point? Yes, but the whole time, I heard this voice in my head. I have a mission to complete. No one must know of it. Go to the Great British Empire. Your mission awaits you there. I couldn't disobey it. It was a very forceful voice. When I got up on deck, I realized that the massive steamship had made port somewhere.
That must have been Hong Kong.
That must have been right before they came to get your body. I didn't know what was going on, but somehow, I was keenly aware that that was my last chance. Then, I slipped in among the other passengers and disembarked. I concealed myself in that unknown country's unknown port town, in order to get myself to the Great British Empire. Sogi, you are so extra. Was something changed? Yes. Your journey to England. Last year, I was left behind in Hong Kong with no memories. The unfamiliar sense of that foreign port left my head spinning, and I was utterly helpless. I'd made my escape as little more than a corpse, so I had nothing on me, including money.
Poor thing.
However, Fortunately, I had two powerful weapons at my disposal. Was one of those English? Exactly. Thanks to that, I was able to secure a job as a crew member on the merchant ship. And I journeyed through countless ports, and finally arrived at Dover Harbor. That was about 3 months ago. Sounds like you're scarily determined, as always. He lost everything, including his memories, and yet he managed to make it here to London all by himself. That's really scary. That determination, holy crap. Also, God, do you need a hug? Well, at that point, I still had no idea what I was coming to do. So then, why did you end up becoming Lord Van Zeek's apprentice? All I can say about that is that it was a curious twist of fate. I was apprehended by the immigration office as an illegal alien and escorted to Scotland Yard. That's when, thanks to a coincidental meeting he had there, I met Lord Vortex. That's where my second powerful weapon came into play.
Could that have been your knowledge of the law?
Yes, it was. Lord Vortex's curiosity was piqued by this Oriental who knew so much about English law. He brought me to the prosecutor's office and gave me a place in this office. Then, 9 days ago, you regained your memories in that trial. That's right. Your dad, Genshin. Oh my god, these topics are depressing. Why? Back at Yuma University, when we first met, I remember you saying this. I have to get over to the Great British Empire by being selected as a legal program exchange student. Did you know? About your father's incident, I mean? 16 years ago. No! Oh no! Oh, my heart! Oh, they showed this picture! Oh no! Oh, my heart! Oh! Oh, this game keeps hurting me. I can't take this. One second. Okay. At the time, when my father left for England, I was still very young. A photo was taken on the day of his departure. That's the last memory I have of him. Even so, I clearly recall my father's unwavering sense of justice. 6 years later, a gentleman came to my house. He came to tell us that my dad, Genshin, had died of an illness in London. That gentleman was your father, Professor Mikotoba. After that, Professor Mikotoba took me in. He also helped pay for my education at Yuma University. I owe him my life. However, I wasn't able to fully believe what he told me.
Huh?
One day, a copy of a sealed letter arrived at my family's home from the Great British Empire. The sender's name wasn't indicated. We figured it must have been one of my dad's English acquaintances, so we opened it. The things written in that letter completely changed my life. What did it say? That letter declared my dad a serial killer and cursed the entire Asogi family.
What?
That letter revealed everything to me. The letter from England. That letter was likely written by a family member of one of the serial killer's victims. It's equally likely that family member was also involved in the justice system and was in the gallery for that trial. That letter informed us that my dad had been executed as a serial killer. Oh my god. Of course, the English government probably silenced them, but it's only natural that there would be those who'd be unable to control their emotions after learning the truth at that secret trial.
But there's no way to know from just that letter whether that was true or not.
The letter also contained a clipping of a newspaper article. That's how I first learned about the existence of the professor.
What did my dad say about that letter?
I couldn't bring myself to show it to him. Huh? Why not? Professor Mikotoba had gone to the trouble of hiding the truth and informed me that my dad had died due to an illness. He did it out of genuine consideration for me. That's why I'd showed that letter instead to Judge Jigoku. To Judge Jigoku? He looked at the letter for a moment, then laughed it off. But I noticed that moment's hesitation. I noticed the fear and obvious shaken expression on his face. My mom collapsed from a severe anxiety-related illness and passed away a year later.
Why?
And that's when I decided that someday, without fail, I'd make the crossing to the Great British Empire and confirm the facts with my own eyes.
Great! Asogi is an orphan. Good. More orphans. We need more orphans in Ace Attorney.
I uncovered the truth of what happened to my dad, Asogi Genshin, without anyone else's help.
You can't see it, but I'm face palming my hands and face this child. Asogi. No. You can't just declare that. This never works in any fiction when you work for yourself. It never works, ever. Also, I'm pretty sure the anxiety-related illness is his mother in grief about what happened to, her husband. Very sure. Very sure. Also, my dog is attacking me now. Stop. Stop. Back inside the room to do that. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do that right now. Dear Asogi, I want to hug you, but I also want to slap your face. What? In what world did you think this would be a good idea?
Kazuma-sama.
Okay, trying the Grim Reaper. The circumstances surrounding the murder certainly changed drastically during today's trial. Your work was truly spectacular, Naruhodō Ryūnosuke. Lord Baroque Van Zeeks wasn't the Grim Reaper. As much as I don't want to believe it, it was actually the victim, Detective Gregson. It's obvious that that detective was acting as the Grim Reaper. Huh? Did he know that already? The problem is who the detective was taking his orders from. That's what it all comes down to. Baroque Van Zieks is the Grim Reaper. At the very least, I know that. 10 years ago, he insisted that my dad was a murderer and made sure that he went to the gallows.
But it was the law that sentenced him, not Lord Van Zieks.
People are sentenced by other people. The law is nothing more than a guide to doing so. Those who try others are responsible for the verdict. That's a necessary resolve they must possess. And I know my dad wasn't a serial killer. Sogi. The one who took my dad's life was the Grim Reaper. You know, I kind of want to go back and change dad for father because that sounds better in my head. I'm not sure. Asogi, this is your armband. No, that belongs to you now. Huh? You have talent as a defense attorney. I thought so for a long time now. You chose that path for yourself, and have walked along it, unwavering. As your friend, nothing makes me happier or prouder than that. Asogi. That's for you to wear. Besides, I'm a prosecutor now. I can't be seen wearing that. Yeah, I get it. Thanks, Asogi. This part of the case really surprised me. This red-headed league. My heart, man. Bless these two. I'm less interested in that criminal scheme, and more surprised that redheads from all over London actually turned up for that. And one of them was London's prided great detective. Well, I'm sure those two are reflecting on their wrongs in a cell right about now. I feel like I remember them saying they'd be planning their next crime in the dark, though. The Lord's chalices and Lord's bottles are arranged beautifully here. That's part of that Baroque Van Zieks. That's the part that Baroque Van Zieks is the fussiest over. He seems to have detailed rules about everything from the care of the barrels to the bottling process. You must have had it rough, being the apprentice for someone like that. Actually, it wasn't at all. Huh? After all, he was so picky about it that he ended up taking care of everything himself. Hey jury, I found that pose! Thanks to that, things were pretty easy for me. What a weird relationship. That's Lord Baroque Van Zieks' desk. Everything about it is highly elegant. Oh, he's doing it more! Speaking of high, it was too tall for me. Oh no! It's too tall for a Sogi! Oh no! Japanese people are too short. Even though Asogi's kind of tall for a Japanese person. Oh, you're used to sitting Setsu style, aren't you? The first time I saw you there, I thought you were being punished. That's the most soothing way for me. I can't handle it. My legs fall asleep after just 2 minutes. That's pathetic. No one lasts just 2 minutes, Naruhodō. Okay, Asogi, but you're just not human. Do you know about the man in this portrait? Of course I don't. Huh? But you're his apprentice, right? Being his apprentice doesn't mean we're friends. I'd lost my memory, remember? I hardly even noticed that painting. I see. It's pretty huge, though. No matter what sort of paintings that man chooses to hang in his office, I don't particularly care.
What am I? Okay.
It's a reproduction of this case crime scene. Yeah, I knew that, but does he make these ultra-precise things every time? Apparently. Some things become clearer in the process of making a reproduction. Incidentally, I made this bulletin board. I wonder if he enjoyed doing this a little.
Arts and crafts with a Sogi.
I have many feelings whenever these two are talking. I'm sorry. They're just great. Bats. I know, right? Like, what? God damn it, Meowsy! Bats, huh? Very fitting for him. Come to think of it, I think Lord Vortex has doves flying around his office. Does one need to love birds in order to fit in among the members of this country's legal system? Well, bats aren't birds, though. Hey, Asogi, how about some swallows for you? What for? What? Oh, nothing. What is going on? I just forever want to be in this room and constantly have these two talking, because this is too good. This wall is covered in years' worth of barrels, as usual. I wonder if he calls them his Lord's barrels. His Lord's barrels?! They're all arranged by region, year, and flavor profile. But about once a week, he removes all the barrels from the shelf and rearranges them. Huh? Why would he go to such trouble? Apparently, he can't find his ideal arrangement, whether by region, year, or flavor profile. It seems that none of the arrangements satisfy him. That must have been rough on you as an apprentice. Actually, it wasn't. Huh? He'd say he couldn't bring himself to entrust his precious barrels to anyone else, and would rearrange them all himself. What the heck? What the What the heck is just... What the heck indeed? Oh my god. Make sure I have the right one. Come to think of it, I couldn't help wondering about this during the trial today. Yet this autopsy report doesn't have an estimated time of death recorded on it. During today's trial, you shouted out quite a shocking possibility. That the victim was in fact killed the day before, and in a different location. The unwound watch, the powder burns on the candle. When you consider the evidence and the state of the crime scene, I think it's possible. To be honest, I wondered about it as well. That's why I made a trip to the forensic pathology lab a little while ago. But the coroner in charge was out, and I couldn't meet her. Her name is Dr. Gulon. Gulon? Gulon? Question mark? I don't think that's actually her Japanese name, and I think that's the new name that I was given, but let me look. Oh no, it's still okay. That's still her Japanese name. So she didn't change her name. So it's Gulone. I will try to pronounce it to the best of my ability.
If you wouldn't mind, Kazuma-sama, we'd like to hear what the coroner has to say as well.
Whoops. Naturally, you're welcome to ask her. I don't intend to hide any of the facts of this case from you. The Yard's forensic pathology lab is located between Lowgate Cemetery. Lowgate? That's where Barclay Prison is. Did you know? That's the prison where the life of my dad, Genshin, was taken.
Kazuma-sama.
Thanks. We'll go check it out later. Naruhodō. There's something I need to thank you for. What's that? This. You protected the spirit of the Asogi family for me. That's a famous sword that's been handed down through your family, right? I'm glad that I was able to return it to you. I never once drew it myself, though. The famous sword Karma. It's said to have been made by a famous blacksmith during the Sengoku period. The Asogi clan is a long-standing martial arts family, especially famous for its sword skills. I guess that explains why your stance is so flawless. The symbol of the Asogi clan is this sword, Karma. I hear that one of my dad's apprentices took its name as their surname. Karma, huh? Sounds pretty formidable. When my dad arrived in London 16 years ago to study abroad, he always wore this sword on his belt. That's why I'm so glad that I can wear it on my own belt now. It's all thanks to you, Naruhodō. Asogi. I can't do this. Well, I was doing a lot better that time. I didn't interrupt at any point. You must have preparations for tomorrow to attend to. Maybe we spent too long talking. Asogi, you've changed. I haven't changed. The one who has changed is you, Naruhodō. I can of course understand why you hate Lord Van Zieks. But as far as this case goes, are you going to say it has no bearing on it? How can you be so sure? Huh? Well, whatever. That man is the Grim Reaper. That's why the detective was killed. I'm going to prove that. By any means necessary. I can't allow that, Asogi. You go ahead and try. It goes without saying, but I'm not going to pull any punches tomorrow. Yeah, I know. In that case, I'll see you tomorrow, in the Supreme Court. Oh! Oh! Ah! Oh my god. I think I'll stop there for today, actually. Yes, we just found out where Varn Karma came from, or implying where Varn Karma came from. One of Genshin's disciple took the name, and I guess that we can interpret that to be Varn Karma, which makes it
Which makes me really wonder if Asogi really is